Where, oh, where is Lane Kiffin going? Well, apparently we have a announcement coming at some point after the Egg Bowl on Friday at high noon. Well, I'm going to dive into what that actually might mean. I'm Dylan Hildreth. This is the Dylan Hildreth Show. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any football or racing. Let's dive into it, shall we? So we got word that Lane Kiffin is Ole Miss is going to be releasing a statement about Lane Kiffin after the Egg Bowl, whether it's Friday or Saturday, whatever the case may be. All we know is we're going to get some sort of answer at some point in next 24 48 hours after the Egg Bowl. And that could mean a few things. And a lot of people are saying, "Oh, it's going to be Lane Kiffin's going to LSU. It's official." Or Lane Kiffin's going to Florida. He is definitely going. Here's the reality. The reality is he's either staying at Ole Miss or he's going pro. It is one of those two. That's the reality. I think Florida is a no-go. I think LSU is a no-go. Having this kind of announcement tells us one of two things. Either staying at Ole Miss or he's going pro. He is not going to have this big timed predetermined announcement. Lane Kiffin, I think he's already made up his mind. There isn't a discussion going on as we speak. He knows exactly what he's doing. And he's gone through the ugly breakups from the Raiders to uh, Tennessee to USC, and even Alabama as the offensive coordinator. It was not pretty. It wasn't a pretty ending. And yes, it would be on par for Lane Kiffin being the enigma that he is. But sit here and say that he's gonna leave Ole Miss in this like granular fashion while in the middle of a playoff run. I don't think so. We could get a couple of things here. We could get that Lane Kiffin comes out and says, "You know what? I'm not ready to make a decision. I don't know yet." We could get that. That is one option, which very unlikely. The other unlikely option is we'll get he will announce that he is going to Florida or LSU or whoever in college football, which again I think is actually unlikely given the fact that they're having this granular decision thing that they're doing. They're trying to do a LeBron style, the decision. But in all reality, I think Lane Kiffin's not an idiot. He saw the backlash from LeBron James. He's not leaving. He's not going to leave in that kind of granular fashion. I, I don't see Lane Kiffin doing that. So Florida and LSU is off the table. And LSU is another thing that I want to address here in a few minutes. But back to Lane Kiffin. Now, the amicable thing the only two things that make sense on making this kind of granular announcement is A, he's staying with Ole Miss. He's signing an extension, and he is going to continue his time in Oxford, Mississippi. Or he's going pro, and he's already accepted Giants job, the Titans job, uh, whatever the case may be, wherever. That's the only two that make sense. Those are the only two options that make sense, other than him saying, I I don't know yet. I'm going to make a decision after the playoff run, and we'll go from there. I could see him doing that. And then, you know what? I'm going to stay at Ole Miss. And kind of a wink, wink, nudge, nudge kind of thing. It was on 3 that with JD Pickrell. I think that's how you pronounce the name. That was brought up, that particular scenario. And he just kind of drags Florida along. He just kind of drags LSU along. And he kind of does that whole you know what? Let's meet at this location at 3 a.m. and let's just see where it goes. And then he doesn't show, and then he stands you up over and over and over and over again. And Florida and LSU, they are desperate. They are desperate to get back into the winning graces of the SEC. That they will sit there and they will wait and they will let coaches pass them by just for the shot of having Lane Kiffin be the head coach. But in reality, it's never going to come. It's never going to happen. This kind of decision, it's either going to be he's staying at Ole Miss. He's either staying at Ole Miss, going pro, or he's going to come out and say, I don't know yet. We're going to see what I'm going to make a final decision after the playoff run. Likely, it's one of those three. The third one, I'm going to wait, being the least likely. So that is the little rant that I have with Lane Kiffin. This tells me either staying with Ole Miss or he's going pro at the end of the day. One of the two. He's not going to Florida. He's not going to LSU. And the LSU job. Oh, we got to talk about this one. We have to. Because everybody in the country is talking about how great of a job this is. It's one of the best jobs in the country. Hello? The governor's involved. When you get the government involved in something, it doesn't go well. I can't believe I have to say that. You should know this by now. Everything that happens with the government involved turns to crap. So, you have the governor involved in this coaching search for some ungodly reason. You have LSU suing Brian Kelly. You have that media mess. Oh, and everybody and their cousins trying to get the hell out of Baton Rouge. I mean, and on top of that, they don't have the money. they don't have the money. I mean, the governor even said, like, we're not doing this again. So that tells me they don't have money. They don't have the NIL money. They couldn't outbid Michigan. They couldn't outbid Michigan for Bryce Underwood. And granted, you're not going to win a bidding war with Michigan, but they didn't even put up a fight. So, yeah. But nonetheless, yeah, we need to reevaluate what the LSU job really is. And quite frankly, Ole Miss to LSU is not an upgrade, and it's a lateral to downgrade move. And the reason why I put it in the downgrade category is because LSU fans have not adjusted to what we're actually going to get out of LSU moving forward. They have to readjust their expectations. At Ole Miss, they are thrilled with 10-2, 11-1, and over the moon with the season that they've had. And regardless how far Lane Kiffin goes in the playoffs, and we'll have to see what the seeding goes, how the seeding goes in in the playoffs, and see what kind of matchups that Ole Miss is going to get, and to really see whether a run can be made or not. Now, either way, I think it's going to be I can see Lane Kiffin winning a game. I don't see him beating anybody that is going to be in the top 4. So you're going to go 1-1 in the playoffs, which that's huge for Ole Miss. And it sets it sets yet another layer of foundation which you can build on and continue to build that culture of winning. But I do find it funny that in college football, we have been shown time and time and time again, defense wins championships, especially in college football. College is for the defensive head coaches. Now, the NFL, Lane Kiffin is perfect, and he can go and actually compete for a championship in the NFL. I don't care where he goes. He's that good. But the college game doesn't quite suit Lane Kiffin on being a national championship head coach. It doesn't. You look at the last number of years. Who has been winning national championships? Alabama, Georgia, and then the 2 offensive coaches that have won championships, and Jim Harbaugh and Ryan Day. Those defenses have been lights out. Now, Lane Kiffin can absolutely build a defense. And you can absolutely find a defensive coordinator that can recruit and can compete. But unless you got Matt Patricia, Ohio State's got you covered and then some. Because the way that Matt Patricia has run that Ohio State defense is insane. And it is one hell of an ask out of a college quarterback to try to move the ball on that team. And you have to ask yourself, can Lane, especially for if you're going to offer him $90+ million as reported an LSU offer of an LSU offer. I think it was from On3. I don't know. It was one of the big brands. But saying that LSU offered Lane Kiffin $90 million. When in reality, if you want to win championships, the route that you should be taking is finding that young, brilliant defensive mind. Because defensive head coaches are hard to find, but when you find them, they are excellent. Take a few weeks ago, Kalen DeBoer, the quarterback whisperer. He's got Ty Simpson. He's got the better offense. and the Oklahoma beaten and battered quarterback, just a couple months removed from surgery that he still hasn't looked the same even to this day. And it was Brett Venables that got the better of Oklahoma for the second year in a row, this time in Tuscaloosa. You look at uh Texas and Georgia. Kirby Smart coached circles around Steve Sarkisian, the offensive minded genius, the play calling guru that is Steve Sarkisian. Uh yeah, that didn't that went absolutely horrific for Texas. And then you just look at a week ago. Dan Lanning, defensive coordinator from Georgia, goes off to Oregon and absolutely lights it on fire and is an absolute 110% rock star of college football in the Pacific Northwest. And Oregon bowls over USC, the offensive-minded genius Lincoln Riley, who who can go and pluck a Heisman Trophy winner out of a tree like it's in his backyard. Yeah. Offensive coaches may have all the glamour, all the glitz, the glamour, and every average moron fawning over them, but the guy that you want leading the charge is a defensive-minded guy. You look at last year, Ohio State. They had um, they had Jim Knowles, a great defensive coordinator. And I know Ohio State fans, he's a great defensive coordinator. He made Oklahoma State's defense good. He improved the Ohio State defense. Not to the level of Matt Patricia. Matt Patricia's a whole different ballgame. But Penn State defense has been very admirable in what is the lost season of Penn State. So, and I'm not saying you should go after Jim Knowles. You want to get a young defensive guy. Now, the NFL, it's a completely opposite script, but that's for a different video. Completely different game. So, I guess the bottom line is be careful on getting the offensive-minded rock star, because the true rock stars are on the defensive side, and they're going to win you a championship. They're not going to be all flashy and all that jazz, but they know how to get recruits. They know how to win championships. And with a good defense, anything is possible. Michigan proved it last year. Oklahoma is proving it this year. And I would just caution LSU and Florida and anybody else trying to pull a $90 million package together, along with God knows how much in the NIL, to go and get Lane Kiffin. And that's not a shot at Lane Kiffin. He's a tremendous coach. But I think he's more suited for the NFL game. And if he's not back in Oxford, he's off to the NFL. Plain and simple. So, I guess that's my rant. We can the it, and the college football calendar doesn't do Lane Kiffin or any other coach that's uh looking to acquire a head coach, is not doing him any favors. I mean, college football calendar is a mess. You have the early signing day in January, the transfer portal. The playoffs don't end till I think January 20th is the national title game. So yeah, it's just an absolute mess, it it doesn't help Lane Kiffin's situation or a lot of other coaches that are looking to transition and move around. So, all right, that is my rant on Lane Kiffin and what could possibly be happening to the golden son of Mississippi. I'm Dylan Hildreth. This is the Dylan Hildreth Show. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next one.